here merely saying to you, look, there's a better way of life. You do not need to live like animals, following your own desires. The big industries you see nowadays in the West are things like gambling, pornography, alcohol, drugs, homosexuality.
If you took over Britain, you'd ban alcohol.
Of course, alcohol will be banned, drugs will be banned, pornography will be banned, gambling will be banned. But the money saved, there will be no monarchy.
La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah. Muhammadur Rasulullah. Muhammadur Rasulullah. La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah. Muhammadur Rasulullah. Muhammadur Rasulullah. There's none worthy of worship except Allah. There's none worthy of worship except Allah. Muhammad is his messenger. Muhammad is his messenger. La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah. Muhammadur Rasulullah. Muhammadur Rasulullah.
Yeah, well, basically, I mean, we were inundated with threats of violence, with threats to kill and murder. We had hundreds of them in the 2 weeks when we were advertising well, I mean, on the text, via email, on blogs. Basically, the reality that I envisaged was that Piccadilly Circus, which was the place of rallying, would have been occupied, and the people were planning to attack us in Trafalgar Square. Now, I have with me women, children, elderly, therefore I had no option but to relocate.
I don't think any person with those views, no matter what colour, race or religion he has the right to speak them on the street. If I came out with half of what he said about beheading people, etc., etc., I would be arrested for incitement.
We are not a military organisation in this country. We're out there to engage people in confrontation. We're not planning any kind of operations. If we were doing so, you would not see us out openly publicly. But that does not mean that we do not believe in the eradication of man-made law and supremacy and sovereignty only for God. And the way the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ eradicated the non-Islamic law from the Arabian Peninsula, we hope one day to eradicate man-made law from Britain, with the generations to come from the rest of the world, to fulfill the prophecy of the Prophet that the whole of the world will one day be under the authority of the Muslims.
First of all, I believe that the British people, they are very ignorant about the fact what is happening abroad, even about Sheikh Osama. If they came to actually verify with us rather than show an ugly face and be angry with us, they would find that Islam is truly something they like.
Please, he's honest. He's not. Yes, he is. He's honest. He is an adherent to the Islamic
He's an extreme Muslim.
No, he's a Muslim.
No, he's a pure Muslim. He adheres to the Islamic text completely. What does he do that is wrong in your eyes?
I've spoken to many of my colleagues, for instance, at work. One incident was about the Sharia, where they were saying that he was telling me how barbaric chopping the hands of the thief was. And 2 weeks later, his laptop was actually stolen. And he came to me and said, I feel like killing the man, chopping his head off. I said, for God's sake, all we said is chop the hands off. Don't go chopping the man's head off.
Shall I take you to the training camp?
Yeah.
Where we're doing kind of like Al-Qaeda training. and we're making like nuclear weapons. Yeah, maybe I'm doing that in my garden. Who knows? It may well be. Yeah. I think there might be a bunker underneath, Whitechapel Mosque. Maybe we need to dig it up and have a look. Yeah. You don't want to believe everything that you see and you read in the media. One of the problems with the media is that they'll fabricate something and then they'll start believing it. You see, so that's quite dangerous, really. You invent Frankenstein and Dracula, and then you start to become afraid of it, forgetting the fact that you invented him in the first place.
Somebody else. So let me ask you a question. Look, all I'm saying is with the word of Jesus. It's the word of Jesus.
My name's Abu Sumayya from Stoke-on-Trent. I become Muslim about 5 years ago now, March the 5th, 2005. Basically, whatever Allah has given for us, we're going to take. If Allah tells us that we lash the person who doesn't pray his prayer, we lash the person who doesn't pray his prayer. If he tells us we stone the adulterer, we stone the adulterer, only because our Lord told us to. That's all. Whatever our Lord told us, we follow.
Assalamu alaikum. We're gonna eat downstairs, but I've got some crew with me. You don't mind it?
Have you seen this one? What does it say? That's the American major in the army who turned on his colleagues.
Well, I don't think he went crazy. I think what he did, he woke up to his reality really as a Muslim, and he realised that, in fact, his so-called fellow comrades were going and occupying Muslim land, killing innocent men, women and children. And it's something that he could not handle, really, and he realised, I think, that he has a responsibility. And he probably did what I think many other people may do within the US Army and the British Army even, if they continue with their foreign policy. You know, it's a very severe lesson for the British and the Americans in Afghanistan, that the Afghan police are killing them, and even their own comrades are killing them. So, you know, they need to pull out. They cannot possibly win. You know, I don't feel sorry at all for the non-Muslims, because Allah said in the Quran, He said, فَلَا تَأْسَ عَلَى الْقَوْمِ الْكَافِرِينَ. He said, don't feel sorry for the non-Muslims. You know, Allah destined for them not to embrace Islam. He destined for them to die as non-Muslims. He destined for them to go to the hellfire. So why should I feel sorry for people, you know, who ended up like that?
What flavour have you got? Is that chocolate the best? Chocolate's your favourite? Yeah.
When we're eating, at the end of it, we lick the fingers, like the brothers do it there. And Muslim scientists have found that these three fingers release a chemical, and when it gets to our basically system, it helps us digest the food. You see.
You feel enlightened. You'll never look at a Muslim the same now.
In the press, you come across as quite scary guys, but
I am quite a scary guy. For people who don't believe, who believe that they can occupy our land and they can just discriminate against Muslims, we're very scary. But for those people who believe that we can live together under divine law, we're not very scary at all, really. If you broke wind, that would be a natural bodily function. If we did, they'd have Hans Blix down here. If it's a weapon of mass destruction sometime.
yeah, so